Hey, how you doing tonight? Sorry, a couple of minutes late there. I've got the camera software. So camera software we've been using. Had an update, so I've just discovered a small little glitch with it, where it wouldn't work with Google Chrome. Brilliant. So sorry about that. It's just a few minutes late starting, but we're all good to go now. Going to make another track in an hour. All good, yes. So let me just get to my countdown on here. So you've all been well. Have you had a good week last week? Timer, that's what we want to do. 15 minutes. Brilliant. There we go. So yeah. I hope you've all been good. Sorry about that. We're going to crack on now with a track in an hour. Get yourselves over to mo2records.com. Get yourself signed up for the mailing list so you can get the parts for this track I'm going to create tonight. I've got no idea what I'm going to do, but we're going to see what happens. Do it in 4 sections, 4 15-minute sections. We're going to do drums and groove, which is like a drums and bass line section. We're going to do a sort of top lines melody section. Then we're going to do an arrangement section and then a mixdown section, all in an hour. So, as I said, get yourselves over to mo2records.com. Get yourselves on the mailing list. Subscribe to the YouTube channel below. Subscribe below, because the more people we get subscribed to that, the more free stuff we can do. So, let's crack on. I'm going to hit the start button here. There we go, 15 minutes. So, let me flick you over to a different screen. Let me go to this screen here, which is top down screen. Now I've reversed the camera around a bit here because I had some feedback from one of my Twitter followers. Thank you, Vicky, if you're watching, to say that it was a little bit annoying that the cameras are upside down. I'm hoping that this isn't. It's actually flipped itself back round again. I'm just going to give you what. I just pop this round here. Do image. That image there. I'm just going to rotate it so that it's like that. There we go. Right. So now you should be able to see the same way as I'm seeing here. Brilliant. All right. So got a 909 kit in here. Straightforward. Going to start off with a drum loop. Let's just get the tempo set. Going to pop you my little screen that I've got on. Oops. On expansion manager. Let's close that. On the screen here as well, LCD window. There we go. Right, so what I'm seeing on the screen here. I'm just going to slow it down to say 120 for this week. So let's just go and put a beat in. Alright, let's just undo that, and we're just going to take the number of bars down to 2 as well. So we're building a 2-bar loop rather than an 8-bar loop to start with. Make 8 bars and a bit later on. Okay, so you can do that so that it makes it a bit quicker to start and get working. Okay. Do clapping on time. So just got a standard 909 kick going on here. You can hear my voice at the top of the music. I'm hoping it's a good, better mix than it was last time. Okay. Okay, let's just go up, change the track a little bit here. Different kit. Let's try a different kit. 505 hats on this, I think. Okay. Congas in. that in there. Actually, we're going to just put that in a different track so that when I bounce it, it comes out on its own little track there. So again, as usual, I'm starting everything, writing everything inside the MPC on the Renaissance here. Down to the 909. Put some rim shot in there. Track mixer up. A little bit of a pre-mix on here to get it rocking on the right kind of thing. So let's just get the little mix right. So we've got straightforward, just mixing kits here. There's the 505 hi-hats. Okay. Alright, let's just save that. That's a good little beat. Now what I might do is I've actually got a sync track set up in here, which is just a little sync pulse sound that comes out of the separate output from the Akai here. And what I've got that set up for is to sync into this little monotribe fella here. So I've got the Korg monotribe set up here with the sync signal going into the back of it. I'll pop that there. Can you see that? You can kind of see that a little bit. The picture might be a little bit breaking up. It's on a different type of camera this week, but we'll see how that's getting on. Now if I bring this up here, we should be able to hear, because it won't make a sound. Okay, there he is. It's not destroying the level too much on there. So there's a proper little left. I don't need to worry about that actually. So if I play this, you can see it's chasing the sequencer across there. You can see that? I don't know if you can see the lights going across there. Do little just pop it into record. So that's with the record So now we've got that running in there. Of course, now I'm going to sample it into the MPC. So I've got that obviously running through my MX1 desk here, which, as you know from all the other hangouts that I've done, the auxiliary output feeds into the input of the MPC. So I actually use the MPC as a standalone unit. So we're going to just be able to record the output from there straight into this as a little loop. So I'm going to go to sample record mode, and you'll see it change on the screen there. And then when I press play, you'll see the input coming in. Turn up a bit there. So I can actually press. Now I've got to keep pressing play and stop on here, otherwise it won't start from the start of the sequence. So I'm going to press record now, and then play on the MPC signature, which will trigger this signature to play, and stop it after one loop. So here we go. Stop. There we go. So I'm going to call that, put it into anything on there. I'm going to go to the screen here and just double click on there and call that Mono Tribe Bass. Okay. Keep that, and then we're just going to edit that loop in there. So we're going to bring it in nice and sharp. I'm going to give you the full screen on there so you can see that. Let's stick to this one here to see it a bit clearer there. So you see I'm just editing in here. We can zoom in and out. I'm using the MPC Q-Link controls to do that. I'm not using the mouse or anything because it's easier to do it with the Q-Link. So you can do it with 2 hands and it's much faster. Bring the other end in here. Now I've got triggered it just on the next loop round. So if I get that right on the button there, that should loop perfectly. Okay, so we're going to process that, and then we're going to just discard either end. Alright, so now we're going to go back to the main mode and choose a new track. So we're going to go up past anything that's got drums on it, track 4, and we're going to make a new program. Drum program, and then I'm going to drag on the screen here. I'm going to try bass onto pad A1 like that. So I'm going to flick you back to the other screen again now. Back to there. So you can see now I've got it on that pad just there. Now I'm going to change that so that it's just on note on. So I can do that sort of thing with it if I never needed to do that. I've never done that in one of these sessions yet, but you never know. So now I'm going to go and record that in. Get that. Okay, so I'm just going to go in a sample edit, and I might just do a little normalize on that to give it a little bit of a boost up. Alright, so back to main, hit save. Let's go back down 909, program edit. Just mix the little bit sounds in a little bit more. I'm not doing too much mixing here right now because we haven't really got time to do it this section. We'll do that bit in the last section, and we should be coming up right now for, there we go, end of the first section. Alright, so we'll just do one last save and then we will crack on with the next section. Let's do that now, which is going to be the melody and top line section. So we've got our drums and bass. Going along just there nicely. Let's see if we can get that synced. The sequencer on the microbrute synced across. So it's going to pop across to my preferences and send the sync signal out to the microbrute, just there, like that. Send a MIDI clock. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to send a MIDI clock signal to this, which means that as soon as you press play on here, you'll see this little light here, if you can see it, little flashing here, flash in time with the track. And I'm going to flick the little sequencer into record. Let's just go into record there and go. What was I playing before? It's that, wasn't it? So we're just going to do that. Okay, so as soon as you press play on here, it's going to go. And we just change the sound a bit up on here. Okay, let's record that in. So you can just go straight forward again to sample record on here. And we're going to just play it until it starts coming in. There he is. Okay, so let me just press play. Of course, the monotribe's still on. I'm just going to turn the monotribe off. Okay, so you're going to record that now. So you're just going to press play, or record, sorry, and then play. Okay, so call this micro brute up. Okay, switch that off from program 1, none, keep that, and then sample edit. Let's flick you over to the main screen. You see what I'm doing here, so I'm just going to use the Q links again just to bring the start point in, zoom it into here, and then bring the back end in as well. Like that. Lovely. Okay, so it's going to discard the ends of that as well. And same as before, quick save, and we're going to go up to, we're on track 5, track 4, track 5, okay. Now what I can do with this is I can drag this to the same program, so I've got microbrute, put microbrute on this A2. Let's just go and take that program edit, so I can actually play the two separately if I wanted to do that, but I'm going to put them on separate tracks, so I'm not going to do that, not together like that anyway, but we're going to be in the same program on the MPC, but they're going to be played by separate tracks. So I'm going to go just bring the end in there. Again, brilliant. So I love this MPC. It's so fast. You can do anything you like on it. Just by grabbing a knob and twisting it. Fantastic. Okay. Alright, let's come back out to main again. Now I'm going to flick over to the keyboards. Change the camera down here as well because, as I said, one of my Twitter followers was saying about it's quite annoying having upside down cameras, which I could, as soon as it pointed out to me, it made absolute sense. So I've switched it round so that they're no longer upside down. let's record that in. I'm not going to sequence any of this stuff. I'm just going to actually record it straight in. How are we doing for time? Let's have a look. Oh, touch ID. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. 4 minutes. Brilliant. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to just ramp up the... Okay, so you can see on there, oh, you can see on the screen, the top corner actually, I've actually got that. You can actually see what I'm playing on there as well. So, I'm hoping this is all sounding okay. I've tested it very quickly before, but as I said, I was having a bit of trouble with the cameras. So, now I am going to record this into the MPC again now. But what I'm going to do is actually not play the sequence. I'm going to record them as 2 separate chords. So I'm not going to play it in time with the sequence. I'm going to use the pads to play them in time later. So here we go. Perfect. Right. Okay. So name this D5 strings. Okay, don't want that in the program for the moment. Keep that. Can edit that, and then we're going to bring in for the first one. Let's flip you back to the main screen again there. And then bring the end in. It's just the start of the next one. Perfect. Right. And this time, instead of discarding the ends, I'm going to extract like that. And then I'm going to just take the end point over here. And same thing again, just process, extract. Okay, and now go to the main. Now I can use the same program 1 again. I'm just going to put them on these 2 pads, 3 and 4. I'm not even going to change them to note on for this time. I'm actually just going to leave them just to hang on from single pads. So here we go. So they're just going to tail over each other. Give it a bit quick save. Bit. Okay. Alright. Now we've got time to try one more little thing. Let's see if we've got time to do one more thing. No, run out of time. Okay. Not to worry. So, doesn't matter. We've got enough parts in there. That's only going to be an extra little bit anyway. So, we'll save that now. And now comes the fun part of the arrangement part. So I'm going to take you back to me here. How are you doing? All right. Hope you're enjoying it. Now, so we've got the all the parts are now programmed in. We've got them saved up there. So what I'm going to do now is I need to just go in to show you the main screen again here. I'm going to just go up to at the top. I'm going to extract out the different tracks. So where I've got the drum tracks playing, obviously there's individual sounds on individual tracks anyway. It splits the programs, but here we've got a rim shot, the clap and the bass drum on one track. Here's the hi-hat on one track, that's fine. The congas are on their own, that's fine. Then we've got the bass line, the arpeggiator, and then the strings all on their own tracks, which is fine. So the only thing we need to really worry about is this first track here. So on this track here, I can actually go up to the track, press the red button, and it hit explode. And what it does is it mutes this track for me and creates individual tracks here for each one. So rim shot, clap, and kick drum have now all got their own individual tracks. So all we need to do now is just go through and just name the tracks up. So we're going to call this. I know what it is when we've got things in here. We've got hats. We've got congas. We've got bass line. And we've got arpeggiator, so let's call it ARP for now, and then strings. Okay, so now I've got all that. What I can now do, I've only got them in 2-bar loops here at the moment, which is fine. Copy bars on edit sequence, and we're going to go first bar, number of copies. I'm going to do 2, actually 3, yeah, merge, and now I've got 8 bars. There we go. So I've got 8 bars across the screen now, all playing the same thing round and round, but it just means when I'm into Pro Tools that I'm not copying 2-bar sections, I'm copying 8-bar sections, which is a bit easier to do. So we'll just save that again now. Up to the file menu and go export as audio Mixdown, and we're going to do explode the track just here. Do 24-bit 48 kHz is what I normally work in. And then we're going to hit export. It's going to ask me where to export to. So I always create an extra folder inside the folder I've been saving the project in. And we call it One Out of House EP3 parts. And these are the parts that I'll send out on Friday. If you get yourselves over to the Moto2 Records website, sign yourselves up for the main list, you'll get an email with these parts on it, amongst all the other fantastic things that you get. You'll get that as well. So we're going to click save on there. It's going to now export all the tracks out for me. Fantastic. We're now going to leave the MPC software. Pro Tools. While it's loading Pro Tools, I'm just going to pop back in and just remind you, just pop over to Moto2 Records website. Get yourself signed up to the mailing list, and also don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. It's all going to help out. We're going to be doing loads of videos. I've got some other bits and pieces using some of the retro kit that I've got, showing you how to use it, mix it in with like plug-in stuff like that, my MC300 sequencer and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's more stuff on the channel. We're going to flip back to the main screen now, like this. And here we're going to open a Pro Tools session using my blank template. And we are going to call it, we're going to go back here. I've got the first couple of Hangout sessions, Hangout 4 and Hangout 9. From a few weeks back. They're actually being released. I've actually mixed them and I'm actually releasing them as tracks on the 15th of April. So look out for those on on iTunes and Apple Music and Spotify and everywhere else you could possibly think of. Of course, one out of house P3 PT mix. Save, and it's going to build me a Pro Tools project ready to import the tracks to. So there we go. All right, so I've got just a kick trigger which I use here, which is just a boom drum machine. That little fella there, just a kick drum triggered on there, so I can trigger it in through 13 bus 13 left, which is what I feed the sidechain from. I've got my SSL bus compressor on there, my maximizer plugin, and in case I fancy it, I've also got this little fella, the Nomad factory bus driver as well, which is sitting on there in case I want to use a bit of extra compression as well. So let's get these parts imported. So I'm going to do Shift Command I to import tracks. We're going to go up to the folder where it's in, down here, into the parts at 120 BPM. Select all the parts. We're going to copy all, not just add them all. If you copy them all, it copies them into the audio folder for you. If you add them all, it doesn't. It just leaves them wherever it finds them. And if you move them, it's off, pretty much. You've got to go through relinking them all. So we're already set to 120 BPM. Here's our parts. I'm just going to quickly go through and name them, give them shorter names so that we know what they all are. So we've got congas. This is why I named them in MPC before we left. Bassline. We've got ARP. If I hadn't named them, we'd be having to listen to them all. Strings. Kick. Clap. And rim shot. Okay, so let's just give them a bit of an arrangement here so we can actually, I always have them set up in a certain way. So kick, claps, hats, rim shot, actually congas, rim shot, bass line, ARP and strings, perfect. Okay, then we'll drag the master down the bottom. There we go, brilliant. Alright, so get the mixer window up like that, and we're going to just colour all the drums to make it nice and easy to see. Colour palette, make them all red. Bassline can stay blue, up can go green, strings is yellow, and bassline can be a bit more sharper blue than that. There we go, perfect. Okay, alright, so let's just go in and give it a quick save, and we'll start arranging it. Now I'm going to just trim the end off of here, make sure you can see that screen. You can, perfect. Now I'm going to trim the ends off of here, and I'm going to start off with just the bass drum. We'll normally start from around about bar 17, so it gives it 16 bars for messing about, playing around with here, and we can just duplicate that across, and claps can come in on that bar there. This is just a rough, very rough to start with here. Let's start with the arpeggiator as well in there and just hear what that sounds like. So click here. A bit too loud while we're mastering it, while we're mixing or arranging here. Get the maximum kind of set a little bit here. -1. Clip. Good. So this time around we're going to have the hats come in, and we just highlight there, duplicate that across a couple more times. 15 minutes, of course, we'll get a bit more. We'll get a bit more of a mix going on there. Get the sounds a bit more leveled out and everything. This is more just to get the arrangement done. Doing the bass line in there. They're going to need to be cross-faded across there as well, or reverb or something put on them. Just take that section and move that a little bit there. So we put that into shuffle mode and delete it, pulls everything back. Perfect. Back into grid mode. Okay, so we're going to a bit too long now. Dreamy house out of this one. Let's grab this section here again. Just here. Bass lines should come back in there. Almost done, quite done, not quite done. We're just going to finish this off very, very quickly. Almost there. Okay. That's it. That's our arrangement done. Okay, so let's start the last section. So we're going to go into the mixdown section now. And do a quick save. Now, anybody that knows or has watched any of the things I've done before, you'll know I use my favourite plugins, which are the SSL plugins. Now, that comes pretty much basically from when I started engineering. I was lucky enough to train on an SSL G-Series console, and ever since then I've pretty much, unless I've been using an SSL console, always wanted to have an SSL console, and I've been lucky to mix on it a couple of times, an E-Series and a G-Series. Can mute off the front ones there. Yeah, so the Duendo native plugins I find are pretty good plugins to have. They sound the most like an SSL I've ever heard in a computer without having an SSL anyway. So I am just going to highlight all of these here. Now when you hold down Shift and Alt on the Mac anyway, and you click the output, you can choose a bus. I'm going to choose bus 16. It changes anything that's highlighted to bus 16. On bus, so I'm going to put the input of this into bus 16, so that I can actually mix the drums into a single fader. So there we go. Now I'm going to start mixing the kick drum, so you can see the drums, the kick drums playing over here as well, which is pretty cool. So let's put a bit of EQ on here. Keep it quite low and subby. This I think it's going to be quite a low subby little track. Okay, right on cue. It's my clap. I want this to be quite dry, so I'm not going to put any reverb or anything on this time. I can bring a little bit of mids and tops into this.